A few months ago, I had the pleasure of having Dennis and Kay's son up here to do a show. It was a special show. It was one of our first ones in the studio here, and it meant a lot to us. You guys welcome David Lutes.
I don't think I've been introduced as Dennis and Kay's son since elementary school. So this is... And David has some songs he'd like to share with you tonight. He's been working real hard on them, so... No, it's so cool. It's such a family affair here, and I just walked in. It was like I'd never left earlier, and they offered me a pimento cheese sandwich, and Helen, the same one that I left last time. So David, you're still here. Helen hugged me. She had sausage hands. I'm starting to feel like one of the family here, and that's.
You are, absolutely.
Oh, good. I was just fishing for that, and I'm just hoping you'd say. Hoping there wouldn't be an awkward silence. But no, I'm kind of afraid if I come back too often, they're going to have me mowing the lawn or something like that next time. So.
That's tomorrow, David.
That's tomorrow?
Tonight, right?
No, I'm leaving actually after the show tonight, sadly. And here's the dog. So I'm afraid I'm going to be upstaged by the dog is really why I said something. Won't be the first time. Is everybody where they would like to be sitting next to who they would like to be sitting next to before I start? It's not too late to make changes. Bob, are you still awake?
Yeah. Every so often you need to ask.
We're going to have a Bob watch tonight. We got to keep. He already threatened to fall asleep twice before the show began, so he picked his spot in the corner and in the dark. You're going to be asleep, or y'all are going to be smooching or something back there. So I've got my eye on you. I'm going to start with a song that I wrote while I was on tour a couple years ago over in the UK. It's called Lucia's Song.
Heart to heart, sweet Lucia, the river bent tawny from rain, an afternoon already gray, that evening gray. So left this moon, sweet Lucia, your devil light show across the moor. I find you in soft bed of green, that fragrant green. So left the moon, sweet Lucia, left the moon, sweet Lucia. Life is but a song in poesy, and oh, everything is gone, everything is gone, everything is gone, and Rosie, hey. Heart to heart, sweet Lucia, your father is ruddy with rage. A curtain of night, twilight blue, that deepest blue. So left the sun, sweet Lucia, your eastern light will show you home. I'll find you again under ebony hills. So left the sun, sweet Lucia. Left the sun, sweet Lucia. Heart, dear heart, sweet Lucia. The sheep up in Dartmoor so white, and white is the dress that you wear, white on white. Heart, dear heart, sweet Lucia. Heart, dear heart, sweet Lucia. And oh, life is but a song, life is but a song, life is but a song in poesy, in poesy. Everything is gold and rosy, hey.
Thanks very much. Thank you. You guys were sitting back on the sofa now where I couldn't see you last time.
You can see us.
Now I can keep my eyes on you, yes. I knew there was wine involved last time. I couldn't verify it. So. Oh, what am I drinking? I don't know. I just figured I couldn't beat him. Here's a song called Jenny on Fire.
I tie the ribbons in your hair. I count the footsteps down the high house stairs. I watch you run into the night. Will you remember me? Will you remember me, Jenny on fire? Apple lady, girl of Maine, a wild child in Bar Harbor Lane. Heaven help the boys who cry. Will you remember me? everything I feel's alive. Remember December, everything is white, and I'll make you mine. Life's too short for this orchard man to only see you every now and again. Can my harvest be your hand? And will you remember me? Will you remember me? Will you take care of me? Will you stay near to me, Jenny unfair, Jenny unfair, Jenny unfair. Thank you. I'm not gonna repeat that. Helen, this is already getting way too personal, Helen. I'm up here bearing my soul, and she's talking about my undergarments. No. Trying to elevate the conversation here, and you're just dragging me down.
I don't know it.
Bob, how you doing? No, mowing the grass. Is that the sound you make when you sleep? Yeah. This is a euphemism for snoring, right? Oh, Bob's mowing the grass. This is a relatively new song I wrote this summer while I was on the road. I'm increasingly having to write songs while I'm traveling. After a day with a 3-year-old at home, the creative energy is pretty sapped, along with most other energy. So, and it's a wonderful thing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It just means that I have to, when I am away from home, I have to be extra focused and take advantage of inspiration when it comes. And thankfully, it has been coming when I've been traveling. And this is one of those that came along the morning after a show. I woke up and had this melody and had this idea going in my head. And part of it was just the sort of life of being on the road. And I'm not one of the musicians who are thankfully not on the road all the time. But it can be a hard life, and even the little bit that I do can be challenging, especially because it can be real easy to. Anytime that you travel, you sort of get away, and you feel like, well, I can kind of leave problems behind. I can kind of not worry about those sorts of things. But when you're married or when you're a father, that's not a healthy thing to do. And so I'm learning part of maybe being married almost 10 years now is just learning to talk about things immediately. Not letting them stew, and often that means that. I just need to apologize, and so does that sound familiar? Just go ahead and say you're sorry.
That mood, David.
Lift that mood. Do you guys need to go talk? Yeah, that's okay.
This is all food for thought, so food for conversation. But anyway, so I wrote this song with that in mind. Helen, you said, I can't remember what we were talking about last time. I was here, said something about being works in progress, and that really, something that really resonates with me with this song is, the longer we're married, the longer we sort of, I guess, are alive, we realize that we are pieces of work, but we're works in progress, and so that's what we're hopeful about. This song called "You're Sticking Around."
I left town about an hour ago with a bad mix of whiskey and a one-man show in this dog and pony rodeo. And I feel like a jerk for all I said. I got the word of God booming in my head, so I pull off the road ahead to get it right before I get to bed. So I thank you for sticking around here, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace. Oh, it's paradise I found, 'cause I found you and you're sticking around. Oh, oh, oh. You make me think about the folks who really lost their way. They're dying and lonely, they got debts to pay, or oil in their etouffee. And I can't be a selfish bore. I bit into the apple, ate it down to the core, and I deserve to be shown the door. But Jesus loves me, and so you're hoping for more. So I thank you for sticking around here, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace towards paradise I found. 'Cause I found you and you're sticking around. Hey, well, like a Peter, Paul, and Ruth, you know you gave this child some truth, that on this day of days, that he might rise above this drunken haze. I got back home about an hour ago. Our baby's in the crib and there's some food on the stove, and you're asleep on the sofa in your beat-up old robe. But it's an angel's wings as far as I know. So I thank you for sticking around here, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace. Oh, it's paradise I found, 'cause I found you and you're sticking around. I thank you for sticking around, yeah, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace. Oh, it's paradise I found, 'cause I found you and you're sticking around. 'Cause I found you and you're sticking around. Oh, 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 oh.
Thank you.
He's going to tell embarrassing stories.
Yeah, this is the danger of inviting your family to gigs. I'm a boy. Well, you heard my high voice, and I know you had your doubts. What Helen's referring to is one of the reasons why my wife is not in attendance tonight. Not only is she back in Austin with our 3-year-old Ruby, she's also 11 weeks pregnant. So. Anyway, thank y'all very much. We're very, very excited.
Yeah. There's the calendar.
My mom still hasn't we haven't sat down. She hasn't explained to me how all that stuff happens yet, Randy. So it's. Carolyn's parents are actually in the audience too tonight. So. Yeah. We can only do one at a time, Tony. I'm sorry. You're a doctor. You should know this. It's a singleton. We have had the sonogram, and it still has its vestigial parts too. So it's sort of a tadpole with a heartbeat. But it's very, very cute. I can tell it's very cute already. So it takes after Carolyn. Back in Austin, Carolyn just suddenly felt warm and fuzzy all over, I'm sure. Anyway, but I didn't hear that part. Or nauseous. Well, that was a decent segue into the song. This is kind of a serious song, but it's about a parent and a child, and a song I wrote long before we had Ruby. But after we had Ruby, and particularly now, these kinds of songs just resonate more and more with me as I begin to understand how deep that bond is between a parent and a child. And so this particular story is about a father and a son who were enslaved in Mississippi before the Civil War, in kind of the most trying circumstances you can imagine, being in with your family. This song is pretty simple. It's just the father's last words to his son. He's trying to encourage him to escape on the Underground Railroad, and even though they probably won't see each other again in this life, they have hope that they're going to see each other in the next. So this song's called Rise Up Elijah.
Gospel and memory is all that I own. They've taken the rest of me through my hands, they work through soil. But you've been the hope for me, and freedom's your birthright. And I have this hope for you through the Mississippi night. Rise up, Elijah, my only son. Think of your mother, my true one gone, and look to heaven with your final prayer, and I'll find you there. There's salvation on the railroad, they say runs underground, and it's running past the pine box that holds your mother down. Until we rise in glory, just like she always say. And we'll see you on that chariot, burning cotton with its flame. Its flame, flame. Rise up, Elijah, my only son. Think of your mother, my true one gone, and look to heaven with your final prayer, and I'll find you there. As I walk you through the meadow, darkness takes you from my view, and with a gospel and a memory, you take the best of you. Over across the river, the waters move aside, and over across the desert, the promised land abide there. Rise up, Elijah, my only son. Think of your mother, my true one gone, and look to heaven with your final prayer, and I'll find you there. I'll find you there. I'll find you there. Thank you. Thanks very much. So I had one of those only can happen in Austin experiences last night. It is a weird place. And not always for the reasons you might expect it to be. I mean, there are plenty of, sort of Willie Nelson lookalikes kind of staggering around, who apparently have no work. They just sort of make a living keeping it weird. And it was actually quite the opposite. I did a private party last night, which are fun because they're kind of low pressure and good money, and you meet interesting people and all that sort of thing too. But this was a particularly well-heeled group and apparently well-connected group. It was in one of the real ritzy parts of Austin, and the woman who had hired me and was kind of putting me on and taking care of me, I was in between songs, and she came up and she had a friend with her, and I was just tuning and adjusting my caper or something like that, and kind of not really paying attention. And so David, sounds really good. We're really glad you're here. I just want to introduce you to a friend of mine who came out to the party tonight. This is Anita Perry, the First Lady of Texas. And I did an absolute double take, and
I shook her hand and kind of holding my guitar and shaking her hand, and all I could think to do was congratulate her on the re-election. So, just one of those real bizarre moments. Only in Austin would Anita Perry be hanging out at somebody's house, private party, and she, but I was kind of, once I knew she was there and I was dedicating all my songs to her. You never know. You never know what could happen. Political appointments are very valuable. I started just kind of observing, and I know what I had noticed over the course of the night was, because they had me outside, and people were kind of mingling on the lawn, and then there was a garage, kind of back house, in an alley behind the house. But I kept seeing this really large man would walk out of the garage, would just stand there and stare at me. And so I'm not too smart sometimes, so I was kind of thinking, well, who's this guy who doesn't seem to know anybody at this party? And I feel kind of sorry for him, and he's kind of big and awkward looking, and he doesn't look very happy, And he's also got something really strange in his ear with a little cord coming down. And, it's like, oh, it's Secret Service, and he's got an eye on me. And I was thinking about her lifestyle. She does every normal stuff. A friend's party, she's being shuttled to the alleyway, coming through the garage. She's got Secret Service, even for the governor of the state. What a strange sort of parallel existence that must be to what the rest of us were doing last night. I mean, as great as it would be, that's kind of neat. It's also kind of sad to me to be, particularly as long as they've been in that position, to be living that life. But she was real friendly, and she even remembered my name, which I was impressed by. And I didn't really dedicate the song to her, but I played the song because I was thinking about her, and I was thinking, golly, I wonder if if she had an opportunity just to kind of escape, would she do it? Like if the guy was looking the other way and there's a car waiting, would she? And this is one of those songs. It's like your quintessential childhood dream of just escaping. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. It's by I Love It. It's called "If I Had a Boat." This is for Anita Perry.
If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We could all together go out on the ocean and set me upon my pony on my boat. If I were Roy Rogers, I'd sure enough be single. You couldn't bring myself to marry in no Dale. It'd just be me and Trigger. We'd go riding through them movies. I'd buy a boat and on the sea we'd sail. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean and set me upon my pony on my boat. The mystery masked man was smart. He got himself a Tonto, 'cause Tonto did the dirty work for free. But Tonto, he was smarter, and one day he said, "Kimosabi, kiss my ass, I bought a boat, I'm going off to sea." Well, if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean and set me upon my pony on my boat. If I were like lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. I'd come and go wherever I would please. And I'd scare 'em by the shady tree, I'd scare 'em by the light pole, but I would not scare my pony on my boat out on the sea. And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean and set me up on my pony on my boat. Set me up on my pony on my boat. Set me upon my pony on my boat.
Thank you. How we doing? Want to do one more? Well, this is a brand new song. In fact, I've only performed this once. I wrote this while I was over between the last time that I was here and this time 2 months ago. I've done a tour over in Europe. Actually received the news of the baby while I was abroad, which was pretty cool. It was after a show and it was very late, and I was talking to Carolyn, and it was a very sort of nonchalant conversation, just asking her about her weekend and what they'd been doing, and she said that they'd been shopping. I said, "Oh, what were you shopping for?" And there was this pause. Eternity Club. It's a pretty cool way to find out. Anyway, but this is a song I was writing, working on while I was over there, and also between the last time I was here and now, some very much the opposite kind of news to receive. When we got back, my first cousin down in Austin passed away quite suddenly, and he was only in his mid-40s. That shook us. So here's a song for him. Always found it kind of sad that the end of all those cowboy movies that the cowboy always rides off into the sunset, which just struck me as kind of being, I don't know, just sort of inappropriate, just because after the sunset comes nighttime and then he's riding in the dark. And that doesn't seem like a very heroic way to go. So, no, he wasn't going very far, I guess. Just sort of the outskirts of town or something. So I just, to me, it's all about the sunrise. And so it's called Resurrection Road.
There's a road that we are traveling on, but it's not toward the setting sun. And I know the day has just begun, that the light shall overcome the damage we've all done. And there's a tree beside the morning road, and it's green from all the springtime growth, and it will be for us a standing stone, a signpost of our hope, that we walk toward the dawn. So in our grief and in our weary bones, find relief that we won't walk alone, and sweet belief that we are traveling home by the light that guides us on, from the rising of the sun, by the light that guides us on, from the rising of the sun.
Thank you again.